Hello, today I have with me Mrs. Zafar Sareshwala, who is a businessman and a political commentator. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I'll jump to my first question right away. It's been a few days since multiple Arab countries have reacted to the comments of certain former BJP now spokespersons as well as functionaries, and there has been a substantial blowback. How do you read this entire, Nupur Sharma and Naveen Jindal issue currently? Let's say looking back a few days.
See, Nupur Sharma and Naveen Jindal was the ultimate. But this has been going on for the past several months because I'll tell you why. I have been traveling to this part of the world almost, every year, 3, 4, 5 times. And I've been doing this for almost past 30 years, even more. And I have seen the difference. I mean, and I have no problem in saying this, that the way Mr. Modi has taken India to a level which was unseen before, because I've been traveling to all of these places. I mean, the way they used to look at India, Indians.
When you say all of these places, which all countries are you talking about?
All Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Turkey, even Turkey. So many places I've been seeing. Mr. Modi, after that 2014, he's one, I think, prime minister in the country in last several years who has visited almost every Islamic country. And not only that, all these people have also come. The heads of state of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Kuwait. Mr. Modi has visited 2, 3 times. They have come here. In fact, the kind of awards which have been given to Mr. Modi is unbelievable. The highest awards of all these countries. And, although our relationship with these countries go back to 50 years, but we always had two things only. Means our workforce there and oil or some trade. We never had investments coming from this part of the world, which has started coming in last 7 years. So you have to give marks to Mr. Modi for that. Apart from that also, several other places in the world, after Mr. Modi's ascension, the way he has kept personal equation
Post 2014, you're saying.
So that change I can see because I'm somebody who's been visiting across the world and now also. I've got two things here to say. Now, I was in Russia just 10 days back. And this is the shifting of geopolitics in the world. Russia had hosted economic summit with OIC countries. It happened on the 20th, 21st and 22nd for 3 days in a city called Kazan, which is east of Moscow.
Sure.
And there were representations and high-level delegations from 72 countries, heads of state of most of these Arab countries, and all 58 OIC countries were there. I was also invited by the president of Tatarstan, which is a state in Russia. Now you can see war is going on.
Sure.
All these countries were there. Nobody was even mentioning that war is going on. They were there. It was a grand affair. I think I and maybe 1 or 2 people were from India. And you won't believe, although Nupur thing had not happened, people were asking me what's happening in India. They used to come to me.
What's happening in India vis-a-vis?
See, so many things are happening. See, we are not a closed door now. Whatever is said on your television channels today, immediately within a second, it is published across the world. And not only that, now they have subtitles in Arabic and in English. And I don't need to tell you, you know what's happening in the country.
So they were questioning the rhetoric towards Muslims in India.
And generally, this Hindu-Muslim thing, Hindu-Muslim divide, because why? Maybe 20 years back, nobody would have noticed. Now, because of this Modi's hard work or the way he ascended India on the world stage, immediately people say, why America? Anything happens in America, immediately we come to know. Because America is that level. Pakistan, so many things happen, nobody bothers. But now in India, so people were asking me. And when I was in Moscow, I met a lot of Indians and all Indian Hindus who are on the top positions. One, I can give an example. A gentleman, he heads one of the largest Indian pharmaceutical companies there. He heads Russia and Nordic nations. He said, Zafar bhai, ये हो क्या रहा है? क्या हो रहा है यार ये? रोज कुछ ना कुछ ये क्या हो रहा है? कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा है. और टीवी पे, the kind of language, not one side. Hindu आते हैं, मुसलमान आते हैं. The way it is happening, as if India में war चल रही है. People were asking me this. I went to Dubai after that. Last week I was there in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I met a lot of Indian Hindus who are on top positions in the investment banking, because that's the field which I belong to, in the investment banking segment. And all the top positions there are, you'll find Indian Hindus there. I met a lot of people who have brought capital in India. One company CEO I met who has invested $2 billion in an Indian company recently. They were saying, Zafar bhai, ये हो क्या रहा है? क्या हो रहा है भाई? ये मुसलमान नहीं पूछ रहे, हिंदू पूछ रहे हैं.
Okay, then my question or follow-up question to you is that if this has been happening before this current incident, how much has this current incident affected the rhetoric then?
And then when Nupur Sharma thing came, I was there in Abu Dhabi. People came, said, Nupur Sharma and this Navin Jindal, they have crossed all limits. I saw it, I couldn't believe that Nupur Sharma, see, it's not about stating the fact as they've been talking. There's a fact. No, she was not stating the fact. She was spewing venom. And on a national television, she was derogatory. She was attacking the personality of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And I'll tell you why. There's a paradox here. I have seen Mr. Modi in last 21 years and several of their ministers. They have shown highest respect for the Prophet of Islam. Mr. Modi has always told me, Prophet se main bahut mutassir. He has read life of the Prophet. He has given to his people. People in the top position in the government, they have used, you must have seen Mr. Modi's tweets when the birthday of Prophet and the words he's using.
Mr. Sareshwala.
So, now I'll tell you why. Let me complete. People couldn't accept this lady and this gentleman spewing venom, sitting on a national television, not as troller. See, nobody bothered because YouTube पे बहुत सारी channels हैं जो day in and day out they dish out utter nonsense against Islam, against the Prophet. That's not the problem. These people are holding important position in a party which is the largest political party in the world and which rules the country. And there's a paradox. The Prime Minister is working hard in bringing or building bridges with the Islamic nation.
But how is this impacting? What I'm trying to say is that how much worse has this made their perception or the current situation? People were anyway questioning the situation in the country. People overseas, many Indians or others who questioning the situation. How much worse has this incident and this episode made that?
See, at least when I came here, and I've been in constant touch with people, and I've been showing them that, and I used to tell them, when they used to tell me, "Ye kya ho raha hai?" Then I used to tell them that, believe me, I have been and I've seen the Prime Minister very closely. His lot of ministers, they have got highest respect, and which I had been saying before also, and now I again said that I feel there is a big difference between Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. There is a difference.
Are countries or representatives of countries able to make this distinction between the BJP and the Modi government currently?
At least now, when they suspended and they threw out that Navin Jindal, at least they've arrested the fall. At least that has been appreciated. That has been appreciated by a lot of people. At least with this, people feel that it is not at all the policy of BJP and the government of India. Of course, nobody questioned policy of government of India, but people were wondering that why these people are allowed to do what they are doing. That was the contention of a lot of people.
this has happened on primetime news channels. This has happened on news channels. Recently, we've also tweeted questioning, why do, let's say, news channels get these, and you've said hate, calling them hate mongers, these religious leaders who comes as either Mahants or Islamic scholars, and you ask the Information Broadcasting Ministry to do something about this. Do you think, has there been a response from the IND ministry, and what is your take on these people who come?
See, all these people who are coming, the Maulanas or the Mahants, the Maulanas are remotely not Maulanas. These are caricature. You need a change ki topi, 3 inch ki dadi, bade bhai ka kurta, chote bhai ka pajama, and he becomes a Maulana. You have a Bhagwa wearing, putting a big tila, he becomes a Mahant or a Sadhu. Neither they are Sadhus nor they are Maulanas. They are hate mongers. And I know them. I know at least those the so-called Maulanas and the Islamic scholars. I know remotely they have no connection with being a Maulana, or they just don't know anything about Islam. Just they are a caricature. And why are they? I mean, why these people are brought and they're put, the tag is put Islamic scholar, Maulana. I know one gentleman who comes as a Maulana. He's a tour operator.
Do you think then the crackdown should be on news channels for calling such personalities? If there has to be a crackdown by the INV ministry, did you receive any kind of response till now? Have you received?
No, I have not. But yes, there's at least as you call, self-censorship. Newspapers and people have. I think at least this, sensitivity should be there on television networks. I mean, I don't want to name them. They're the top networks in the country. They are bringing these people. I mean, what are you trying to show?
But what is the solution out of this? Like you said, they're there to incite, as you are saying, and many are not even, like you mentioned, one person being a tour operator. What is the solution out of this then?
The solution is that first, there should not be any religious debate. I mean, why we should have a religious debate? It should be in confines of your home. And don't bring these so-called Maulanas or the Mahants. We have enough people, intellectuals. I mean, I have dealt with so many people who have very diverse view than me on Quran, on so many things. We have never fought. We have agreed to disagree. You can have, but these people, they literally abuse. They mock. They make fun of other religions, which is, I was surprised why one gentleman the other day, he was put as Islamic scholar and he was abusing Hindu religious beliefs. And a Maulana, real Maulana, told me this is against the Islamic jurisprudence. It is a grave sin in Islam to mock any religion, to mock any religious belief. It is a grave sin. It is worse than fornication.
Mr. Sareshwala, also wanted to ask you that right now, let's say, for example, Nupur Sharma and Mr. Naveen Jindal have been suspended from the party. But we have seen previously that there have been many party functionaries, as well as from the BJP, who have made comments. They have made comments to incite. Do you think if the high command of the BJP had wrapped down on those leaders initially, then this situation would not have arisen? Like, if that situation was tackled, right now there have been reports of, let's say, informal instructions to spokespersons in the BJP that, you should not talk about the issues have been laid down. Do you think if these guidelines and this kind of a crackdown had happened earlier, this incident would not have happened?
No, it's not only BJP. I mean, several others also. When they come, or people who are just not connected with any political party. And yes, at least I have come to know that BJP has now laid down conditions with their spokesperson. I think it's a good beginning, at least. See, we need uniform.
But I'm saying whichever party, I use BJP as an example, but I'm saying if this kind of a crackdown had happened earlier, this kind of an incident would not have happened.
Yeah, in fact, at the television network level, if they would have shown restraint of not inviting such people,
but these are party functionaries. I'm moving aside from religious leaders. I'm talking about party functionaries.
No, when Nupur fought with somebody who was there as a religious functionary. So why you need them? I mean, why you need with Nupur Sharma, a Islamic scholar, so-called. With Nupur Sharma, you should have somebody from Congress. Or for Congress, you should have Samajwadi Party. Why on earth you need a Maulana and a Mahant? Why? We don't need them.
Sure.
It should be pure political, and Nupur Sharma should be against a Congress and a Congress against Samajwadi. Only that. We
Moving
should
back
have these
to
people.
the incident, you said that people like, many heads of state and functionaries are distinguishing between, let's say, the comments made and the Modi government, and it's not synonymous. Will this incident, being a businessman yourself, have any impact on business interests and investment in India?
No, not. I think they have arrested with, suspension. And like, government of India's, ambassadors have gone and they've given their side. So I think with this, correct message has gone. I think
So
that
this will
was.
not impact investment or business interests.
I don't think they have done. The corrective measure has to be done, but now government should ensure that this does not happen on television networks.
Mr. Sareshwala,
Because this is the. It starts from the television networks.
Sure. The condemnation which came for these remarks made came about 10 days after the incident took place. Do you think that is too late, or that was too late, or do you think there would be better disaster management if it came earlier?
Anyway, I will say better late than never. At least it has come. So at least with this, the intention of government has gone across the world.
Sure. Sir, you also recently responded to a tweet by the Al-Qaeda, and many questioned you for why are you responding to them and giving them legitimacy. Can you explain a bit about that, and why did you feel the need to respond to a terror organization?
See, only one lady from Congress party responded. Of course, we need to tell the world, at least the Muslims, that they are terrorists. We shouldn't give a damn to them. And we want to know them also that you are terrorists. You don't represent Muslims, and by any yardstick, you have nothing to do with Indian Muslims. So this message also needs to go. It needs to go. It's not giving legitimacy. You think that a lot of newspapers have put headlines about that. So are the newspapers giving them legitimacy? Of course, we need to fight them. And I have taken them head on before. A lot of their people when I was in England in 99, 2000. Sure. So they need to be taken head on.
Mr. Sareshwala, as someone who has been well versed in politics for a long time, the BJP has said that, let's say, Nupur Sharma and people like Naveen Jindal are fringe elements of the party. How much do you believe this?
Well, okay. So they have demeaned them. So now Nupur Sharma and Naveen Jindal should think that your party is calling you fringe. So it is an insult to them. Good. The party has called them what they are.
Sure. But do you believe that they are fringe elements of the BJP?
No, I mean, Nupur Sharma was sitting there with the hat of BJP. So in fact, I'll tell you, the Nupur Sharmas of the world and the Naveen Jindals have sullied image of Prime Minister Modi. What he has done and built up the image of India in 8 years, the level he took, these people, they have damaged Mr. Modi's effort. So actually, they have damaged nobody else except Prime Minister Modi.
Oh, sure. As one concluding question, I wanted to ask you, what is the way forward now? I'm just talking about in terms of prime time debates, how we are the level of debate, the rhetoric. What is the way forward now?
See, the way forward is that we'll have a lot of these kind of things, Gyan Vyapi, and so many things will be happening in the country. I think nothing more or less than the rule of law. Courts. Whatever courts decide, finish. And these things should not be discussed on prime time. You don't need them.
We should not be discussing current issue, let's say, for example, Gyan Vapi on primetime news organizations.
No, please, I'll tell you why. Because when there is ongoing cases are there in the courts, so why we need to discuss something which is in the courts? Finished. My axiom is one simple: whatever the courts decide, full stop.
Mr. Sareshwala is someone who's done a lot of work, let's say, in terms of educating the girl child and as well as among Indian Muslims. Lots of people within India are questioning that it took multiple countries, let's say Arab countries, condemnation for, let's say, someone for the BJP and the Modi government to disassociate themselves with these remarks. And why did when people within the country protest, there wasn't as much, let's say, sterner action taken. How would you, let's say, respond to this?
See, I'm not getting into that, but I feel better late than never. At least now they have understood and they have taken stock of the situation, and the response which our ambassadors went and gave, and removing these people. And now they've also come up with guidelines for their people who go on television debates. I think better sense prevails everywhere.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for joining us and for your
Thank you.
time. For more, stay tuned to theprint.in and follow us on our social media handles.
Thank you.